Hi everyone! Welcome back to our channel. So we're going to our nail appointment for today with my tita. Hi everyone! So I just got home and I finally got my nails done. And for today's vlog, I'm gonna be reading one of Stephen King's book in one day. So it's already 4 in the afternoon and my boyfriend will come over, so I'm not gonna start my 24 hours reading vlog yet. Probably I'm gonna start at night. And yeah, so let's talk about the books that I have here by Stephen King. I got 2 books, If It Bleeds and The Outsiders, so I'm choosing which one to do the 24 hours reading vlog. But this one has 476, I'm not sure, 400 plus pages, and this one only has 300 plus pages, so I'm gonna go with this one, If It Bleeds, and I'm gonna try to finish it in one day. And yeah, I'm so excited to finally read one of Stephen King's works. And yeah, I'll let you know my thoughts. I'll let you know how I feel about this one. This book belongs in horror genre. So yeah. I'll see you soon again. I'll keep you posted. And let's read tonight because I think that's the perfect atmosphere for this Stephen King's book. So yeah. See ya again. Hey everyone, so it's Saturday night and it's already 9:25 p.m. and my boyfriend just left. So now I'm gonna start my 24 hours reading If It Bleeds by Stephen King. And since it's my first Stephen King book, I am really excited to feel my reading experience for this book. So the only thing that I know about this book is that it is a horror thriller book and it has 4 different stories, but I'm not sure if it is 4 different stories or 4 connected stories. But I will let you know throughout this reading vlog about these 4 stories and my thoughts about them. And yeah, so let's get into it. Page 23, and I can tell you a lot of things already. First, the writing style. It's one of my favorites, the first person narrative, and I like the relationship between Mr. Harrigan, the first story of this book, and Craig, which is the narrator of this story. And yeah, it's like I'm reading a business-like book. It's a little update for you. It's already 12 midnight and I'm on page 36. It says here, this time Reverend Mooney read the scripture, the one about how we were all going to rise from the dead like Lazarus on the great getting up morning. Like he's quoting Lazarus. I don't know if it's a coincidence. It's the book that I haven't read yet by Lars Kepler. Interesting. God, this book is so thought-provoking. Really, it's just making my mind active in the middle of the night. God's thinking. So we're going.
Kay, kaya baka mapanis kung kayo aalis.
Tienes po.
Ti.
Mas pisto butsa maling.
Yati.
Kaya ka tiga. Kaya mapas maling.
So guys, I didn't update you last night. I finished 50 pages last night, and this morning I only managed to finish 20 pages because my mom kept talking and my dad also kept talking about cars. So I'm on page 70 and 4 more pages. I'm about to finish the first story. Well, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. Chicken stories. Thank you for the chicken stories. Here, chicken stories. Some rice. And then coleslaw. And then fries. And then this Coke here. And yeah, we're gonna eat and probably do the reading. What's up, you guys? So, time check. This is my boyfriend's phone. It's already oh, you can see it, 2:50 in the afternoon, and I'm gonna start reading finally, and I'm about to finish the first story. Yeah, I'll keep you updated.
Ça faillit. What the f... بفهمم ماجيره. بفهمم ماجي متنالم.
I just finished the first story, which is Mr. Harrigan's phone. Well, I must say that it's not that scary at all. It was so light and I really like the story. It was so cute. Story was Mr. Harrigan's phone, and it's just a story of this businessman, a rich businessman, and this teenage boy who work for him. And there's this relationship between them. I mean, not relationship, I mean like grandfather relationship with this two, and that kind of relationship still continues after the old and retired businessman died. And yeah, it's like a ghost thing. That's it. I'm not gonna spoil about it. Yeah, that's the first story, and I'm moving on to the second story of this book, and the title of the next story is The Life of Chuck. So yeah, let's get it in. I took a short nap and I'm still reading the second story of The Life of Chuck. Well, it's kind of boring for me, but I'm still interested like what's really going on in the second story, and I'm currently on page 96. And yeah, as you can see, I'm still on page 96, and there's this much to finish the second story. And yeah, as you guys can see, my boyfriend ordered sushi. Like, we need to eat again. How can I read if we keep on eating?
How can I play when you keep on reading?
Let's see what you ordered.
Ooh.
Here's the sashimi salmon, the tempura, and this one. So we're gonna eat first. Ciao. Last night I came home around 11:30 in the evening, and of course I didn't make it the 24 hours reading vlog for If It Bleeds, and I read a little in the office today, and I managed to finish only 114, and I'm still on the second story, The Life of Chuck, and these are the remaining pages to finish the second story. And so far it's so boring, to be honest with you. It's the third person narrative, and it has a lot of characters, to be honest. I like the first story than the second one. And yeah, I'm gonna update you as soon as I finish the second. So guys, it's the fourth day, and I just finished the second story of this book, If It Bleeds. And I don't know, is it just me? I didn't get the whole fucking story. I mean, it started with this Chuck, like he's over the ads on the billboards and, you know, advertisement and all that stuff. And then King told his story, a lot of characters showed up, but it just didn't make any sense. The ending of the second story was so vague, and I totally didn't get it. I don't know. Well, it's my first time reading Stephen King's book, but was there any background story for the second story? The second story was The Life of Chuck. I don't know if there's a background story of this guy. And now I'm about to start the third story, second to the last story. The third story is If It Bleeds, which is the title of the book. I'm gonna start the third story and I'll let you know. Hi you guys, so I'm still reading the third story, which is the If It Bleeds, and I think this is longer than the other previous two stories. And I'm on page 151, and this book has only 366. So the writing style of the third story is from the third person perspective, and I'm liking this third story because it has, you know, detectives and these crimes that are happening, and I like this kind of story with, you know, police and this, you know, crimes that they're trying to solve. So far it's going good. I like it than the second story. First story was excellent. The second story so bad. It was so bad. And the third story so far so good. So I'm on page 178, and I think Stephen King is spoiling The Outsider, the book that I haven't read. Oh my god, why are you doing this? But yeah, this is the third story, If It Bleeds, and I'm loving it so far because it talks about crimes and these cops, and yeah. So I am on the third story of If It Bleeds, and I just want to let you know that on this third story, Stephen King writing style is so good that he mixes the third person perspective and first person narrative. Like, how can he do that? And when he's using the third person narrative, he would just trick you of thinking that you are reading the first person narrative. It's so unique, it's so good. He's excellent when it comes to writing style. I mean, wow. And you can see all of that on the third story, which is If It Bleeds. So, you guys, last night I didn't update you because I was reading the book around 10 p.m. and I was going to sleep around 11, and I was reading the third story, If It Bleeds. It was so scary and creepy. It was suspense horror, and I couldn't sleep much because it was so scary. The creature was so scary, the monster or the outsider, which I was kind of disappointed because I think he's spoiling the outsider, the book that I haven't read. And as you can see, I just finished the third story and it was fucking good. I fucking enjoyed the third story because it was kind of a crime thriller, but not really crime thriller. It's a horror thriller with a bit of suspense, and I really enjoy this creature, this monster, because he was such an a-hole. I mean, the way he's criticizing or belittling Holly, the cop. It was so mean and rude to Holly. It was so funny. I mean, I liked Stephen King's humor there. It was so good. Yeah, so far, the third story is my favorite. And I'm going to start the last story, the fourth story, which is The Rat. And that's the last one. I think the third story is the longest, but the best one, I guess. So yeah, I'm really excited to finish this book. It's a good one. I like it. So if it bleeds, it leads. Yeah, I forgot to mention that on the third story, my emotion was like up and down. It was like a roller coaster because it was so good. It was so good, and I hated it because on the first page of If It Bleeds, it's like someone is going to die in the end. That what Stephen King did, the mind game that he did. But actually, it's a good ending. I'm not gonna spoil it, but wow, I mean, he was ingenious when it comes to writing style. When it comes to the concept of the third story, it was wow. It was beyond my expectation. So guys, I'm on page 317 and on the last story of If It Bleeds, where Stephen King talks about his main character, how he writes his own book, and it makes me want to write my own as well because it was so good. It's a good one, and yeah, I'm about to finish the last story, and this is a good one. It's a third narrative writing style, but it's so good. It's a story inside the story. So hi you guys, so I finally finished this book, If It Bleeds, and I finally finished the fourth story, which is called The Rat. Fourth story is my second favorite among the rest because it talks about the writer, an author who wrote about short stories, but he attempted to write novels. His first attempt writing a novel, he failed big time. So second attempt, however, turned out to be a success. Of course, it's a horror story, it's a horror book. There's something happened why the novel became a success. There's a twist there, there's a horror thing that happened. It was scary as shit. Not as scary as the third story. When Stephen King is writing the story of his main character, it was really good. It was so smooth, and I think the main problem of this character is he's overthinking it. That's why he couldn't finish the book. But that's the thing about being a writer. It's so difficult, and his problem is not he's losing words. It's not about losing words, but it's about having too much words. Since this reading vlog is too long, I'm not gonna make any book review. As I finish the another book of Stephen King, as you can see on my background, The Outsider, I'm gonna make book reviews for these two books. So yeah, it was a fun ride reading If It Bleeds, and I'm so happy that I finally finished reading this, and this is my first Stephen King book and I enjoyed it. Finally, I'm gonna give this book 4 stars. Because as you saw on my whole experience reading this book, the second story fucked it up big time and I didn't like the second story. That's why I gave this book 4 stars. But it's still a good book. It's still a good big book. Guys, you enjoyed this reading vlog and I'll see you again on my next vlog. Ciao!